What is up, friends? Hey, I'm Ryan Coral from Studio Sherpas, and this is the Grow Your Video Business podcast, where I talk about how to grow your video business without burning out. Gosh, why do I make this so hard on myself? On this show, I cover topics like how to get more clients, how to be more productive without sacrificing your creativity, and how to get paid what you're worth. If this sounds like you, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Before we get in, this is a solo episode. I'm gonna get a little vulnerable here, but before we get in, I have a free gift for you. If you're serious about getting bigger budget clients, if you're anything like me, when I first started, I had no idea what to say on sales calls or in sales meetings. I was very intimidated by the process. I wanted to sell our work based on the quality of our work and add a little bit of my personality in there, and I thought that was enough. And I found out pretty quickly that businesses, CEOs, executives, people that were hiring us needed more. They needed some confidence. So the free gift that I'm offering you is what I have dubbed the Ascend Method. The Ascend Method is our step-by-step process for how we take people through client meetings, how we approach those meetings. It's a very simple formula and approach, and I want you to have it. So I have a cheat sheet, and then there's actually a video walkthrough on what I do in those meetings. You can go to studiosherpas.com/ascend. It's an acronym. There are 6 letters in the word ascend, and Studio Sherpas, you're going up a mountain, so it's like it all kind of relates here, but it's going to show you how to have a ton of confidence in yourself, which your potential clients, your clients will feel that, and it will help you win the right kinds of jobs. And I think if you do it, you apply it, you practice it, you stretch that muscle, you're going to be a lot more successful in your business. So go to studiosherpas.com/ascend and grab that free gift for you. Okay. I've mentioned this before. I have a mastermind group. So there's a group of filmmakers in there, and we meet every single week for 90 minutes, and one person is on the hot seat for 60 minutes in that mastermind group. And it's an opportunity to bring your big questions, your frustrations, your struggles as a business owner, and just say hey, here's where I'm at. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Advice. Do you have any thoughts? Have you done this before? What have you done? What has worked? What hasn't worked? All that stuff. It's so good. It's super helpful, and it's so great. But before I started that mastermind, I joined a mastermind. So I'm in my friend Graham Cochran's mastermind group, and he is an online business owner. He found success. He has a YouTube channel called The Recording Revolution. And if you know anything about audio or music, you probably know who Graham is. He's got a massive following on YouTube, and he started his business, his initial business about 10 years ago, probably a little bit longer ago than that. And then since then, he, I think about 3 years ago, started the Graham Cochran brand, where he's got a weekly podcast, and he helps people that want to teach online and make a living online. And so since that is part of what I do these days, where we have course creator partners, where we're filming, producing, teaching content, and we're posting and marketing that stuff with them, and we're making a cut on all the sales with our course creator partners. But then also the Studio Sherpas brand, the Grow Your Video Business world, I create content, I create digital courses that I sell to help you grow your video business. So there's a lot of my hands are in this world of online business owning as an online business owner, but also as somebody who's helping other people in their online businesses. So it made sense for me to jump into this mastermind, where it's a bunch of other online business owners. There are musicians in this group. There are photographers in this group. There are ballet dancers. A ballet dancer in this group. So there are 12 people, and they have all sorts of different kinds of businesses. And people are doing launches. People are starting a YouTube channel. People have a podcast. They're doing a virtual summit. They want to know how to get sponsors for their virtual summit. So all these different things, very relevant to me, as I want to be the most effective that I can within the Studio Sherpas brand for you. I mean, you're listening to this because of the things that I've been learning in my own video business, but I would have never really known how to communicate this well in a way that you're listening to this conversation today, because I think I would have thrown in the towel years ago with this work. Our production company, Tell Studios, which has been around, I started doing video production 17 years ago, full time. And my confidence level in running a video production business is at an all-time high. When I started, and years into that business, I think I experienced a lot of imposter syndrome, and there's a lot of failing forward, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to deal with frustrated clients, not knowing how to serve our clients better, not having the confidence to be able to sell a 6-figure project to somebody. I didn't have those things, right? You learn through experience, and being almost 2 decades into this work, everything hasn't been roses and rainbows and glitter and unicorns and all that stuff, but there has been a lot of really good stuff and a lot of learnings, and I make a good living, and I employ people and they make a good living. And like I said, my confidence is, I don't really experience imposter syndrome with our production business, which brings me to this point where I want to say, I know this is a common theme amongst y'all. And when I say y'all, I'm looping myself in here because I've been there. And a lot of you are telling me today, this is where I'm at. I struggle with imposter syndrome as I'm running my video business. And so I want to help guide you to get to a place where you don't experience it as much. And then one day, maybe not at all. But I'm currently experiencing imposter syndrome in a whole other business. So the Studio Sherpas brand, this still is like a new, quote unquote business that I started 6 years ago with my friend Matt. And there's still so much for me to learn. And there's, there are other online educators out there that are helping filmmakers and videographers. And I just think that's great, because everybody has a different perspective. Everybody has a different thing to offer. But in that, there are messages, there are things that I have told myself, that the little whispering voices that I've heard and believed, Ryan, you don't have what it takes. Just get back to doing your video production thing and stay in that lane. Getting into this space where you're who are you to tell people what they should be doing with their video business? You don't really have a place to do that. Everything hasn't always worked out for you, and it's easy to fall into that trap and to think maybe I should just throw in the towel and stop doing this podcast. And, I've strategized and try to think how can I reach more people with the message of here's what I've learned as a video business owner. Here are the mistakes that I made, and here's how you can learn from my mistakes, and learn faster, apply these things in your own life and business faster than I did, so that you can achieve success a lot faster than I did. I cannot, it is case in point here. When Matt left Studio Sherpas in, I think it was 2018, I had one of my main goals was to say okay, Matt's gone. So this flagship course, I think it was called corporate filmmaking. Basically, we're just trying to teach people how to grow their corporate filmmaking business. I said, I need to create a new course that's just me, because, the one with Matt, he's not in the business anymore, and just whatever. I just had it in my mind. I'm okay, we're going to start fresh. He's not going to be on the podcast anymore, so it's just going to be me. So let's just build a new course where it's just going to be me. And it took 3 years to build this foundations course. Now I released a bunch of other courses in the meantime. I sold coaching. I did our in-person event, the Onward Summit. I've done that a couple of times. So there have been digital products and courses and things that I've sold that some of you have bought, and thank you for doing that. And to hear your wins and successes with that stuff is really cool. But in the back of my mind, I haven't re-released or offered something that was more foundational. Like if you're interested in starting a video business, or you're at the early stages and you're just trying to figure out how to price myself and how to charge and whatever, or you've been doing it but you kind of hit a wall and you're like, I don't know, my network is only this big and I'm not sure how to meet more people and get more leads and get more at bats and maybe be able to charge $20,000 for a project or $50,000 for a project. I didn't have that course, and the imposter syndrome that I experienced over the past 3 years that said, like, Ryan, like, seriously, you shouldn't do this. I have been talking about building this course and having it available for so long. It took me 3 years to finally finish it. But really, it only took 3 months from like start to finish to write it, shoot it, and edit it. And the majority of that first 3 years it was just like getting stuck. It was like thinking about, okay, well, here's, I'll start the outline, and then getting stuck, and then shining object over here. Like, oh, maybe I should try this or do this thing over here, and totally lose focus. And that was me. And the ironic part is, as I am coaching other filmmakers and video business owners, I'm always like, listen, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get the thing out there. If you really feel called to this work of video production and you're waiting for your demo reel to be finished, or you're like waiting for your new website to be done before you start reaching out to potential new clients, or you start taking agency owners out to lunch and just trying to build relationships, don't wait. Go ugly early. You don't learn until you launch. I've got all these little sayings that are really trying to like help people step outside of themselves and just be like, gosh, like, if this is your calling, just do the thing. And you're going to mess up, and it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. And it's better than not doing it at all. If you've been around for a while, you know that I've struggled with perfectionism. Being in this world of video production, you want everything to look good. You want everything to sound good. And at some point, you just have to deliver. You can't keep editing something. You'll lose money as you like edit something to death. And the world needs your message. The world needs your gift. The world needs your talents. And if you hold back and you're waiting for the right time or the right moment, you're doing a disservice to the world. So people were like, if you are dating somebody and it's like, when is the right time to get married? It's like, you're never going to have like all of the things in Lord, or like, when are you going to have a baby? It's like, there's no right time. When are you going to start your business? There's not the perfect time. There's maybe a little bit better time, but if you keep telling yourself that and putting off the thing that in your heart of hearts is something that you're supposed to do, you are doing a disservice to the world. I'm saying that to you, but this is the message that I'm receiving, because my friend Cliff Ravenscraft, who's been on the show before, we talked about this course today. It's called the Video Business Academy. We talked about the Video Business Academy probably a year and a half ago when he first started coaching me. And he said, Ryan, so as you're talking about perfectionism and you're wanting to launch this course, if you were to launch it today, like, just like if you spent a couple of days just working on it, getting it out, you might view that course, you might rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. You might give it like a 5 or a 6, because you're like, well, I want to spend more time on it. I want it to look really good. I want it to, I want cool like sound effects and cool motion graphics to kind of, you want all these different things. Your 5 or 6 out of 10, as you're teaching people how to book a $10,000 job, or how you've booked a 6-figure job, or how you hire employees, like how you've done all those things, like by you not releasing this information and like guiding people through those processes, because you're afraid, like it's only going to be a 6 out of 10 visually, audibly, content-wise, flow-wise, and all that stuff. It's not going to be perfect. But do you think that people will receive like wins? Like, do you think that it would help their business? Your 6 out of 10. He's like, your 6 out of 10 is probably somebody else's 8, 9, or 10 out of 10. When he explained this to me, it was like mind blowing. I felt I felt guilty. I was ashamed of myself. I was frustrated. It was all in the most healthy way of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have held back. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? So I'm sharing all of this with you because yesterday in my hot seat in it's called the Epic Mastermind that Graham leads. Incredible people in this group. And I have known, I wanted to release the Video Business Academy, and there were so many other things along the way that distracted me, that tried stealing my focus. But toward the end of 2021, I was able to focus, build out outline, write scripts, shoot the videos, get the stuff edited, post it, put it out there. I was able to do all that. In the meantime, for the last 2 or 3 years, this podcast has been like my main source of like traffic. We've got a YouTube channel, and we basically just post the video versions of the podcast there. And it just, I haven't spent any time figuring out like the YouTube algorithm or like titling stuff or writing descriptions, or we've spent very little time focused on like trying to figure that world out, because I'm like, why am I going to like do all of this work to market, whether it's YouTube or all these other places, if I don't even have like all of the time that I spend in this brand? It's time and money. Like, there's costs involved, and I can't focus on all this marketing if I don't have like a good business foundation created. Which, if you're in a spot where you're like, man, I just want to get some Facebook ads and start marketing my business and get out there, I would say like, well, how is the foundation of your business? Like, are you ready? Like, if you did get a bunch of incoming leads and people, like, do you have a good process? Do you have a CRM? Do you have an email list that they can sign up to? Do you have a like email follow through? And how are you going to sell to these people? And are you going to do it in a not sleazy way? And are you prepared to get a huge influx of inquiries and all this stuff? And for the Studio Sherpas brand, the idea there is like, do I have products that can help people? And so I hesitated. I said, man, I don't have this flagship product. I don't want to do all this marketing and then not be able to say like, well, I've got a solution for you if you're, XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever. To not be able to offer like, a full-fledged course that's going to help somebody. I'm like, does it make sense to like spend all this time marketing if I don't have this like foundations course? So now I'm on the other side of that, right? The course is done. And so I go to the mastermind yesterday. I'm on the hot seat, and I'm thinking like, I need more traffic. So YouTube probably makes sense. So I have these very tactical questions that I'm bringing to the group yesterday. I'm like, okay, so I need more traffic. I forget the other 2 things that I had. Oh, actually, the third one was like, I want to stop comparing myself to other people that are in this like online space. So it was such a beautiful thing. The thing I love about being in a mastermind is the people are committed to my success. Like, these people care about me, and they want to get to the heart of like what I'm after, and like what is it that I actually want to do, which is way better. They could answer my questions. They could say like, oh, Ryan, here, name your YouTube channel this, and here's the first 10 ideas for videos, and that would have been good, and I could have like been off to the races and started creating a YouTube channel. But better than that, they're like, okay, like, let's talk about that. Like, let's dig in a little bit more with your, imposter syndrome, your perfectionism. Like, what is stopping you? You've had this idea of doing a YouTube channel for a long time, and now you're kind of like, you're wanting to do it, but like, there's still some hesitation around starting this YouTube channel. And the conversation kind of went like, for me, I was like, well, here's the deal. Like, I just, I feel like I'm an old guy in the space. I've got kids who watch YouTube. So, it's always on. And it's like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, like the video. Like, just my kids like say the lines, and it's funny. but it kind of drives me crazy. I'm like, I don't want to be a YouTuber. Like that's not my goal. That doesn't like move the mission of my production business forward. And it doesn't really, in my mind, it doesn't move the mission of the Studio Sherpa's brand forward. Especially for me, because it feels inauthentic. I feel like I'm like, well, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not, young 20-something that's like starting a YouTube channel. I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not. So I'm like thinking all these things that I'm not, and that I don't care about. And I'm like, I want to just show up. I want to be able to be authentic in me and like, and not, be my goofball self and not feel like I have to like, be a YouTuber. And the response of this tribe, this mastermind group to me was like, dude, the best thing that you can do is to show up as you. And I'm like, I know that. I get that. I totally. And then they're like, no. Like you don't need to be something, forget about the competition, forget about, all the other YouTube channels that are out there that people might watch. And they were sharing about some old guy who's like, well, I shouldn't say old guy, older than me guy in his mid 60s or something that just started a YouTube channel a couple of years ago. And he like reviews music, or he's a music producer or something like that. And he's got like this massive following. And they're like, he is totally himself. He does not fit the YouTube personality that you're thinking of. So as they were like, explaining all this stuff to me, I'm like, it's like, it shouldn't be mind blowing, but it was kind of like, wow, like, yeah, I've been thinking about this the wrong way. So I want to share with you my big takeaways from this mastermind chat yesterday. I'm still processing through this, but I thought it'd be fun to share with you just so you can get into my head a little bit. The biggest thing here that I realize is like, oh my gosh, I don't have imposter syndrome in my production business. I've got multiple employees. We did 7 figures last year. We're booking like big jobs. Like, we have things that it seems like it should be high stakes and like I should be, stressed or, whatever. But I'm just like, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Like, I don't even think about it. I don't even think twice about it. And then there's this, this second business that I start that I'm just like, I like, can I do this? I don't think I have what it takes. First thing, like my first big takeaway from the mastermind yesterday was I need to just show up ready to serve. If I can have a mindset of how can I be most helpful? How can I think about, who needs what I can offer them? Who needs the experience of somebody who's been around for almost 2 decades, running a video production business, having, experience in weddings back in the day, experience working with like major brands, experience working with a lot of like mostly small businesses, working with agencies, like all of the things that I've learned in like, there are certain niches that we like to work with, ones that we've kind of discovered like, maybe we don't really like working with those kinds of industries or those niches. And like all of that stuff, if I can picture my younger self or, the people that I've met over the past few years that are following this podcast and have, coming to the events that I host. And if I can think like, what do you need? And if I can show up for you, not for all the other people, that like the people that might be looking for a quick fix or a magic bullet or like what's the thing that they want or they need, the marketing like savviness. Like if I just say like, well, that's not really me. Like I don't want to be that. I don't want to have to create that from nothing. And sure, like I can learn how to market better and I can learn how to talk about what I do better. And there are better ways to lead conversations or better ways to like format a YouTube video or whatever. Like I can learn that, but what I don't want to do is be inauthentic. And so showing up with the mindset of like, I'm here to serve you. That's all I need. And so when you're thinking about your clients, your video clients, don't think about all the people that aren't hiring you, but think about like who's in front of you and how can you best serve them? Because if you can serve them super well, they're going to be able to introduce you to somebody that's like them that would resonate with you and with your brand, and that would resonate with the way that you served them. The second thing I wrote down here is just be me. Like, embrace the fact that, I've been doing this for almost 2 decades, that I have experience in being okay with like, I'm not like in the camera scene anymore. I'm not like doing all of the, finding out what camera should we be using and what new technology, like what cranes and like all that stuff. Like, that's okay. There's part of me that feels like, man, I just feel like I should be, offering that knowledge. Maybe I should spend more time like learning cameras and stuff. And I'm like, I was good at that, and I loved doing that. I loved talking about that, but that's not really my world anymore. I don't spend time in that stuff anymore. I spend much more of my time on like building the business that can run without me. So like embrace that and like leverage that. Another one is like not being afraid of sharing my success. And I feel like on this show, I've shared so much of my success and I've shared so much of my failure. But there's a part of me, like when I think about YouTube and I think about that world, there's a part of me that's hesitant because there's so much like sleazy marketing out there that just feels like, man, this guy is just trying to like get me to buy his thing. And like, it just feels gross or it feels wrong. Or like, are those numbers actually real? Like what, like a real honest feeling that I have is like, some people that are out there selling training and, teaching other people how to grow their video business. Like there's a part of me, and this is like very vulnerable here for me, so bear with me. But part of me is like, how long have you been like in this business? And sure, you have had success. Like I can't argue that, but like, is that really like, I mean, there are some people that are just freakishly, amazingly good and crafty and marketing savvy, and like they could sell anything to anyone, and their work, they can shoot and edit things with their eyes closed, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's the best thing I've ever seen. That's not me. I don't have those skills. And I don't want to come across like I do have those skills. I don't want to come across like this is a magic bullet. I don't want to come across like as insincere. I want to say like, hey, if you want to build a video business that is going to be sustainable and that's going to be around for a long time, like there are certain things that you've got to do. You can't just run Facebook ads. You can't just have a cool strategy for your clients and sell Facebook ads to their clients. Like there are certain core foundational things that you need to know so that you serve your clients well, so that you serve your employees well, so that you can keep doing this work in a sustainable way. So if Facebook ads go away, it's like, well, what's the core of your business? So for me to share the success that I've had, I just need to do it. And I need to not I'm like even struggling. I need to not apologize. When I share my successes, it is not to brag. It's not to say like, oh, look what I did. It's to say like, it's really like my heart is like, look what I did. If I did this, you can do this, because I'm not the best shooter. I'm not the best editor. I'm not the best salesperson. There are so many areas in all of the business that I'm just not that great at. But like, here's what I've like cobbled together these things, and these things I do pretty well. And if you add them together, it creates traction and momentum, and it's created traction and momentum for us. So here, you do these things too, and let it build traction and momentum in your own business. Perfectionism, going ugly early. So this is you've heard me say this before. It's like, don't wait, like get the thing out there. So as you're thinking, in the same frame for your video clients, don't wait until your demo reel, you've got your updated demo reel out there, or you're in between websites. Like, there are so many things that you can do without a website. There's so many things that you can do without a demo reel. It's never going to be exactly what you want. And if it is exactly what you want, it's only going to be like that for like 3 weeks. Because picture one of your most favorite projects from 6 months ago or a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever. How does that compare with what you're doing today? It doesn't compare. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we thought that was our best piece ever. It's like, it's embarrassing, right? We all feel like that. So the thing that you might perfect today, in a week, in a month, whatever, at some point, it's not going to be good enough anymore. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? So just get the thing out there. Connect with your ideal clients. Start saying, here's who I am. I'd love to work with you. Let's talk, and fail forward. Figure out what you can do better next time. Revise, edit yourself so that the next version of you is a little bit better. And then my biggest takeaway, my best piece of advice is to surround yourself with a tribe of people that are rooting for you, people that want you to succeed. I've done that since day one of running my business, and it has served me so freaking well. There is nothing better. I could do all of the other things mediocre, but with a group of people that are behind me, that aren't afraid to like speak the truth to me, without that, I wouldn't have a business. I would be in corporate America. I would not be happy. I'd be frustrated. Sure, I might like some parts of my job, but overall, I could be like, this isn't me. Like, I'm not able to be fully myself here. But surrounding yourself with people that know you, that know what you're about. The mastermind group that I'm in, it's a virtual meeting once a week. We went on a retreat, so I did spend a good amount of time with a handful of people in that group. But half of the group, it's like we just see each other online, and still their commitment to serve me at the highest level, to really get to the heart of like, who is Ryan, and like, what does he want, and what is he good at, and what is he not seeing? Like, what are the blinders in his own eyes that he's not even realizing, like what he has, some of the gifts and skills that he has in front of him that he's just not even seeing, because for him, it's just like, oh, doesn't everybody love talking to people, or doesn't everybody love sales, or doesn't everybody love the video or the business side of video production? Like, doesn't everybody, like, isn't everybody just like kind of naturally good at that? It's like, oh my gosh, like, no, hello, McFly. Yeah. So whether that's a mastermind group, it's a group of friends, a community group that you have, anything like that, being intentional about surrounding yourself and opening yourself up to saying like, hey, are there things in my life that maybe aren't aligning with exactly who I am, with who I'm created to be, with who I'm called to be? Are there things in my business? The same question. Don't just do it because it's like, well, this will make good money and this will be good for us. Don't just do that for that reason. Do it because there's this like calling, this like, you can't not do it. Your heart is just like pulled into it. Like, if you can live like that, you will serve the world in unbelievable ways. So I am super excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you for being here, and be on the lookout as I like spend time and energy pouring myself into YouTube videos. And for me, it's just an experiment. I'm going to see how it goes. I might hate it. I might just think like, wow, this isn't all it's cracked up to be. But my hope is that what I'm learning can help a lot of people. And so if YouTube is the platform to use to be able to reach more people, then that's what I got to do. So I kind of already shared, I think, most of these. Number one, surround yourself with others that want to lift you up, that want you to succeed. Number two, stop watching what everyone else is doing. So if you struggle like me with imposter syndrome, stop looking at your competitors' website. Stop looking at the videos that they're producing. Just stop. Cut it out of your life, and you will be better for it. And number three, just listen to your heart, as Napoleon Dynamite says. Know your why, understand your calling and just do it. Go ugly early. You don't learn until you launch. You'll serve the world the best when you can do that. With that, if you want to get plugged in, we've got a Facebook community. It's a free Facebook community. Go to studiosherpas.com/community, and it will take you over to that group. If you don't have the Ascend method and you want a tool to help improve your client meetings, go to studiosherpas.com/ascend, and you can download that free cheat sheet. My gift to you. Leave a review. If you like this show, leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. Just kidding. But man, I was going to read a review. I've just read a couple of recent reviews. I think from the iTunes store or somewhere, but so encouraging. Thank you for your kind words. I do appreciate. I love hearing that stuff. But feel free to reach out to me directly if you need anything. I'm Ryan at studiosherpas.com. And that is all I have for you today. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Talk to you real soon. See ya. What's up, my friend? Hey, if you're a corporate filmmaker or videographer and you're looking for ways to grow your video business, or you want to start making a living producing videos for businesses or brands, then this channel is for you. I'm Ryan Coral from Studio Sherpas and the Grow Your Video Business podcast. Here, I post weekly content around how I've built my own 7-figure video production business over the past 20 years with only a small team and without red cameras and without needing to work on major brands or ad agencies. I have honest conversations with other filmmakers as well as best-selling authors and speakers who specialize in sales, marketing, operations, and mindset. My hope is to help you to grow in your confidence as a video business owner, to give you the courage that you need to charge what you're worth, and ultimately for you to be able to build a business that supports the life that you want to live. If that sounds like you, hit like on this video and join me on this incredible journey as we grow our video businesses together.